A heritage of excellence, Hillcrest Middle School through the years. The heritage of the past is the seed which brings forth the harvest of the future. 510 Garrison Road. In the fall of 1964, construction began on Hillcrest Junior High School, today known as Hillcrest Middle School. Let's go back in time to 1964 and see what it was like in the early days of Hillcrest Middle School. In early 1964, Hillcrest Junior High School was built. An open house was held for the community and many people attended. Everyone was excited over a new school. Mr. Bill Moody was the first principal at Hillcrest Middle. The original faculty looked forward to working with all the new students. The first building consisted of 22 classrooms. Here we see students getting their trays in the cafeteria. Here we see students eating in the new modern cafeteria. There was a gymnasium. There were 2 new science labs. There was even an industrial arts room and a shop class for making wood furniture. There was a music and a chorus room. The school had a band room, and the band had fancy uniforms. We had a library originally located between the 2 classroom halls. There was a new art room, a home arts room for cooking and sewing. Here's a hall with students changing classes. Another hall picture looks pretty much like it does today. We had a strong student council then, just as we do today. In the 1960s, we had students to serve as hall patrols to keep order and keep students moving quietly. Students served as library workers. We had a basketball team. We had a football team. Cheerleaders. We even had majorettes who marched with the band. And believe it or not, there were even beauty pageants and queens for each grade. In the 60s and 70s, just as it is today, Hillcrest Middle School was a place of learning. Teachers taught important material to prepare students for the future. Just like today, students who were car riders gathered out front to wait for their rides. We also had students who rode the bus home. Here we see the halls in the 60s and 70s after everyone has left for the day. Here we see the original front of the building. In the early 80s, we had a new principal, Dr. Bill Stubbs. Here we see Dr. Stubbs and faculty members accepting the National Award for Excellence in Education in 1984. Today we continue to be a school of excellence. Here we see one of the early computer labs in the late 80s. The next principal was Mr. Randy Dozier, who stayed with us for 2 years. This is what the outside of Hillcrest Middle looked like in the 80s. Can you believe that this is the front office before it was remodeled? Here we see a typical bus student from 20 years ago. In the 90s, Simpsonville began to grow, and so did Hillcrest Middle School. There was overcrowding, and this shows a very overcrowded cafeteria. About this time, in the early 1990s, Mr. Keith Russell became the 4th principal of Hillcrest Middle. With the tremendous growth of Simpsonville and the overcrowding of Hillcrest Middle School, portable classrooms arrived. At one point, there were more portables than there were inside classrooms. Here's a picture of the demolition in 1998 and 99 as more classrooms were added and a whole new front of the building was built. The faculty began packing up to move for the construction and renovation. Here we see moving during the early construction, destruction to rebuild the building, renovation and change, making this more modern. Here we see Mr. Russell directing traffic just as he does today. He is leading us into the new millennium with a more up-to-date, modern building. We begin the busy time of unpacking and getting ready for the remodeled Hillcrest Middle School. Students are excited as they plant flowers to make everything look beautiful. 2000, a new millennium and a modern new Hillcrest Middle School opens for the Simpsonville area. Our brand new building. Students enjoy the new building as they continue to learn and prepare for the future. And so we enter the modern era. New learning styles and teaching techniques, technology with new Promethean boards, focused learning with essential questions, differentiated learning where every student has an opportunity to learn. A new media center with new computers, and Poetry Alive. Hillcrest Middle School. Pride. Excellence is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. If we show class, have pride, and display character, winning will take care of itself. Hillcrest Middle School is 46 years old, but students still strive for excellence just as they did in the early days. Students dressing for success, studying and preparing for their future careers. A heritage of excellence. Our mission is to build a collaborative learning community focused on student achievement. Hillcrest has excelled through the years. In 1982, we attended the World's Fair. In 1984 and 85, we won the Excellence in Education Award. We have had a geography beat representative with Mr. Buzzle as the sponsor. In 1992, 42 students and parents went to China to visit a sister school there. We have won the Palmetto Gold and Silver Awards. Yes, indeed, we are a great school with a great student body, a great staff, and a great community. What contribution will you make to our school to help continue this trend of excellence? Will you have a positive impact on Hillcrest Middle? The heritage of the past is the seed which brings forth the harvest of the future. We have been provided a rich school heritage in the past, and we believe that this will provide seeds in bringing forth a rewarding harvest for our future lives as productive citizens.